This is outrageous, but thankfully not all great adventures are far and away. Escape to Logan. We've got so much going on. This weekend, welcome summer at the 39th Annual Summerfest Arts Fair. 139 artists, 35 bands, and 27 food trucks. Bring on the funnel cakes. Lyric Rep debuts its professional theater season with the 1950s and 60s musical review, The Marvelous Wonderettes. It's a musical trip down memory lane. Every Saturday, there's the Gardeners Market. That's all on top of our regular everyday awesomeness. And when I say everyday awesomeness, I'm talking about your hotel being 10 minutes from the National Forest, where you can hike and bike, birdwatch, and drink in the stunning scenery. I'm talking about Angie's Diner, where you can tackle the kitchen sink, a gigantic banana split on steroids served in an actual sink. I'm talking about free concerts at noon every weekday of the summer, 253 performances of live theater and music in the next 6 weeks. Whoa! Head to Logan. You won't break the bank on less than a tank. ExploreLogan.com.
One of the stories we're following this morning is breaking down this $444 million budget. The Salt Lake City Council says your water bills are likely to go up, and it's all to pay for a water treatment plant. We'll have more details.
7:39 now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Andy?
Amanda, slowdowns increasing on I-15, now middle of the valley between 215 and 4500 south in Murray. It's also looking a little bit better for now anyway on Bangerter Highway going through Taylorsville and West Valley. Tooele County, though, really struggling in Stansbury Park. SR 36, in fact, is backed up for over a mile trying to get to the SR 138 intersection. And it's not as bad through Lake Point, although you will hit the brakes at the Flying J again. Heather?
Well, traffic has come to a pretty big congestion spot, southbound I-15, starting about Hillfield Road all the way past the Kaysville Ponds. I haven't heard of a crash in this area, but this came on pretty quickly, so we could have debris or something that's slowing everybody down more than usual. As you continue south and get past the Kaysville Pond, speeds improve and you should be fine the rest of the way into downtown Salt Lake City. We're seeing a bit more traffic on US 89, and that is slowing people down just a bit northbound because of construction barrels. You only have one lane available there. Eric?
Northbound slowdowns I-15 Utah County just past Triumph Boulevard as you go by SR 92 and head up towards Point of the Mountain. By the time you get to the county line, you're back up to a normal pace. US 189 through Provo Canyon looks good. Highway 6 through Spanish Fort Canyon is good for a while. When you get to Castlegate, you're going to be diverted because of an accident there that is closing off the freeway en route to Price. Keep your allergies under control this spring with Rentmeister. Call 801-773-6900 and mention KSL for a free indoor air quality consultation. Visit us at rentmeister.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Time for the Pollen Report this morning, also brought to you by Rentmeister Total Home Services.
KSL Pollen Report, we've got weeds and shrubbery in the low to moderate category. Mold remains in the moderate simply because we've been getting so many showers and clouds that it's allowing for that mold to continue to grow. Grass is in the low. And dust. Yes, we continue to keep an eye on that dust. Due to daily thunderstorms, we've been kicking it up out of the West Desert. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
I don't know what's to blame, but I've been sneezing and itchy eyes like crazy for the past couple of days. Mostly cloudy downtown right now, 62 degrees.
We're going to talk to Sarah Isger coming up next. She is reporting, of course, on what's happening in Miami in the courtroom today. I wonder if she could explain to us, what intent do they have to prove? Does the prosecutor have to prove? Do they have to actually, and how do they prove the intent that's required here?
Well, especially when it comes to the espionage charge.
Yeah.
That's one of the big questions.
We'll ask her in a moment on KSL News Radio.
Stay with us at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. It's Tim and Amanda here to get your Tuesday off the ground on KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
June 15th is Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and the Utah Department of Health and Human Services is hosting a virtual event from 10 to noon. Text SENIOR to 57500 to register.
Want to annihilate payroll problems? Wipe them out with Paycom. Paycom torches timesheet errors like a flamethrower. Oh, obliterates overtime blunders like a wrecking ball. Holy mackerel! And PTO problems? Paycom leaves them pulverized. Wow! Because with Paycom, employees do their own payroll right in the Paycom app. They find and fix errors before payroll submission, so HR can tackle important stuff, like performance incentives and retaining top producers, so your people can crush their goals. And with Paycom, employees enter and manage their own HR info, like onboarding, tax setup, and benefits enrollment. It's all in one powerful software with ironclad security. Stop doing that! Sick of HR and payroll headaches? Don't just eliminate them. Demolish them at paycom.com.
It is time this morning for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News.
My mom was here at KSL once. It was nice. She met my boss, but she did not say, "You got to give my son more airtime." But if she did, she'd fit right in these days. New trend, helicopter parents getting very involved in their kids' careers. The Wall Street Journal reports more and more HR directors find mom filled out the job application. And when it's time for Junior's hiring interview on Zoom, you can actually see the parent popping up in the background. Sometimes you hear the whispering as mom helps with an answer. Why do you think you fit in with our company? Tell them you love people. I love people. But it doesn't end there. More than a few teenage retail workers call their moms for advice when they're dealing with a difficult customer. And don't we know there are difficult customers? There's the story of a Dollar Tree employee who got hassled and her mom stormed into the store to set things right. Experts say a lot of this comes out of the pandemic. Kids sequestered at home, failing to master social interaction, and the Journal says some companies are leaning in, even hosting a Take Your Parents to Work Day. But mom, dad, calling the boss and giving him a piece of your mind or trying to change your kid's schedule will turn your little angel into a laughingstock at work. And most HR managers refuse to hire someone when they sense the helicopter overhead. So mom, dad, land the chopper and allow your kids to learn from life experience.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Might be some of the best advice, parenting advice I've heard in a while. Land the copter, Mom.
That's good.
Jeff Kaplan back this afternoon, of course, 3 o'clock. He'll be following up the arraignment of former President Trump in Miami, so look forward to that coverage on your way home. KSL News Time now, 7:45. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
Salt Lake City officials could sign off on a new budget as early as today. Meanwhile, utility bills in the city are about to hike up as much as 18%. I'm KSL News Radio's Kate Davis.
Second, a man has pleaded guilty to 3 murders in Utah that took place over 15 years ago.
third, let's check your traffic and weather together.
We've got I-15 slowdowns northbound, Midvale to Murray, southbound, Layton to Kaysville. In fact, the southbound delays are actually starting almost back at Antelope Drive now, heavy and slow all the way down into Kaysville. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Afternoon thunderstorms continue with highs in the 70s. I'm Matt Johnson.
It's 62 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
Former President Donald Trump expected in federal court this afternoon to face arraignment on 37 federal criminal counts related to the storage of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. 10 people wounded in a mass shooting that happened after the Denver Nuggets won their first NBA title ever. 3 of those shot are in critical condition. The Consumer Price Index up 4% year over year. The Fed will use that information in its 2-day meeting on interest rates, which begins today. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Let's go in depth here. Former President Trump, as you heard, set to appear in Miami courtroom today facing federal charges that he illegally kept top-secret documents.
Joining us live on the KSL Newsline is ABC News contributor Sarah Isgur. One of my questions, Sarah, is does the prosecution have to prove just that he kept the documents or that he had some sort of intent in keeping them?
They will have to prove that he knowingly kept them. Now, the word knowingly in criminal law can be a little tricky to figure out which knowingly it has to be, but that's charges 1 through 31 with the willful retention, and they go through each document that he willfully retained, meaning he knew that he was keeping national security information, national defense information. But charges 32 through 37, those are actually, I think, much easier for the prosecution here. Those are the lying, the false statements, the obstruction. They've laid out all the evidence they need on that. He said this, but we have evidence that he knew this. We asked him for these documents back. We have text messages of his staff at least saying, hey, the boss wants us to move these so that the lawyers can't find them. How's the bathroom looking?
There's an espionage charge in there, too, is there not? And that one in particular, intent would be important.
Yeah, so that's the willful retention. That comes from the 1917 Espionage Act. There is a lot of history, let's say, around the Espionage Act that isn't great. I think that there are real non-frivolous legal defenses to those willful retention claims. But again, it's what makes those false statement and obstruction claims more slam dunk. Once again, Donald Trump might have been fine in terms of the actual thing that he was doing wrong, but it's the cover-up. It's him getting in his own way, recording himself, that, Donald Trump's his own worst enemy.
How long do you think this process will take?
Under the Speedy Trial Act, a federal criminal defendant can get their trial started within 70 days of arraignment, what's happening today. But they don't have to. And so I don't know how much we'll learn today. If you see the defense mentioning a lot of motions that they intend to file with the judge, that's a good indication that they don't want to start within that 70-day window. But the prosecution has said they're interested in moving quickly on this. So we'll see. There's a chance that this could all be starting by the end of the summer. But Donald Trump's legal team, which hasn't even really been put together as far as we know, he's still looking for lawyers to represent him in this case. They're going to huddle and decide whether they think it's in their best interest to go fast or drag this out, potentially months or years.
All right, Sarah, thank you. It is called the Rocket Docket for a reason. They move things quick down there. But the former president is facing a maximum sentence, I think, of about 20 years in prison. He's 76 years old.
Yeah. 7:49 now.
Let's get a look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. We go back over to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, I'm seeing slowdowns in several spots on I-15 now. Delays increasing Bluffdale to Bangerter, and then they've been pretty rough in the last bit between Midvale and Murray, especially just between 7200 and 5300 South. Mountain View traffic backed up again in West Valley at 35th. It cleared for a while on Bangerter in Taylorsville, but it's slow again from 54th down the hill to 47th South. To Willock County, the Stansbury Park delays are the busiest right now near SR 138. Heather?
Southbound I-15 in Davis County has your longest stretch of delays. They start at Antelope Drive in Layton all the way past the Kaysville Ponds, and a few brake lights starting to show up now as you get closer to downtown Salt Lake. US 89 also has slowing around Antelope Drive southbound, and northbounders will see the brake lights between Farmington and Fruit Heights. That's all due to road construction. Eric?
Northbound Foothill Drive getting filled up from Parley's Way if you're exiting I-80 or the 215 eastbound from Parley's Way all the way up to the Sunnyside intersection. It's going to be slow going. Nothing that Foothill Drive commuters aren't used to, though. I-80 going out to the mountains, that looks good. Down Utah County, the one splotch of slowing we've got is northbound I-15 from Triumph Boulevard up to a point of the mountain. That's just below the regular pace. Nothing major, though. The 201, for 2100 north traffic heading eastbound from Redwood Road over to the freeway. That's your typical slowdowns as well. Upgrade your countertops with beautiful quartz or granite. With Bedrock Quartz, it's only 7 days from template to installation with showrooms in Layton, West Jordan, St. George, and Pleasant Grove. BedrockQuartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. It's a little cloudy out there, and it's a sign of things to come. We're going to go 77 degrees, very delightful in the temperature department, but we do have a chance for those thunder showers yet again today. We keep it in the 70s tomorrow, chance for thunderstorms, and there's going to be a little June cold front overnight Wednesday into Thursday. That'll keep thunder showers in the forecast Thursday morning, drying Thursday afternoon, but on the cool side, 74. 70s persist through Friday, then we give way to 80s and dry skies on Saturday, mostly sunny. Hey, Sunday, Father's Day looks good. 86 degrees, partly cloudy. We drop it off to 80, dry skies on Monday.
That sounds good.
In the meantime, still snowing in the mountains.
Yeah, are you right? Just won't stop.
That's weird stuff. Right now, mostly cloudy in Salt Lake City, 62 degrees.
You've heard us talk about the SOTA weight loss program. SOTA stands for state of the art. Recently, I contacted my nutritionist, which I can text her anytime, even though I'm on the maintenance part of the program, because I've kept the weight off for like a year plus now, because I needed to change. I eat a lot of protein bars since I can't stop to eat until the evening meal. And I said, I need one that's low sodium. I found out how much sodium was in the ones I was, and she immediately got back to me with several different options of what I could change to. Whatever I need to do, I need to change this brand, or this isn't working for me. That nutritionist is my partner for life, or as long as I want to take advantage of it.
And if you go on their website, which is sotaweightloss.com, spelled SOTA, you'll see a lot of business reviews there. I think there's almost 1,000 of them up there now, but a lot of the people talk about how that is the difference maker for them, is that support that is available by text, by email, by phone call, whatever it is. My daughter, who lost 42 pounds, still reaches out to her nutritionist in the maintenance phase, I think every couple of weeks, and she's, kept that weight off just like you, and every once in a while she'll put a few pounds on and then they get right back on track. But they can help you as well. We've told you the average male loses 3 to 5, the average female 2 to 3. Just go to SOTAweightloss.com. It's spelled SOTA. Think Tim and Amanda. It is state of the art.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Some things are better together, like burgers and fries, movies and popcorn, and auto and home insurance. At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we'll help you bundle your auto and home coverage in one policy, saving you money. And if a storm hits and both are damaged, you'll pay a single deductible. Find an agent at FBFS.com/protect. It's your future. Let's protect it. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company.
Smart, connected, modern. Discover life-enhancing independent living services at Trio Orem. Joy isn't just for the young, it's for the young at heart. Trio signature programs provide a unique approach to wellness, bringing living well and well-being to life. Trio is reimagining retirement to deliver delight in every detail. To learn more, contact Trio Orem at 801-434-8000 or visit treeorem.com.
It's the 100-day countdown to Cougar football, brought to you by Bish's RV. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper.
New BYU defensive coordinator Jay Hill brought with him some of the stars from his Weber State defense. The most notable addition is graduate transfer cornerback Eddie Heckard. Heckard was an FCS All-American for the Wildcats. He considered the NFL draft, but instead decided to team up with Hill again here at BYU.
I knew I had a year left to up my draft stock. I felt like it was a good opportunity to end up going with him down here to BYU and joining the Power 5 where I know they're throwing the ball. So I just feel like it's a great opportunity and it's a blessing in disguise just because it happened on the year I was trying to come out of Weaver and leave a year on the table.
Heckard is projected to be a starting cornerback for the Cougars this fall in his lone season here at BYU. Countdown to Cougar football, 81 days to go. I'm Mitch Harper, KSL Sports.
Troy, I want to spoil the crud out of our amazing customers during Bish's RV Customer Appreciation Month.
Oh, I'm with you. We're throwing the biggest customer appreciation sale in our history.
Okay, this should be good.
For starters, employee pricing is back on select RVs. Go to Bish's.com and click the Get Lowest Price button.
Stop! Cut the music.
What the heck?
You're leading with employee pricing? You gotta save your best for last, not first.
Can I just get back to the sale?
Just saying. Hit it, guys.
On top of employee pricing on select RVs, we're giving you 90 days no payments for all play and no pay OAC.
That's good too.
And no reasonable offer will be refused on remaining 2022s.
Whoa.
Plus, we'll trade anything. Just ask.
Cut the music.
What now?
Sorry, just feeling a little power hungry.
Is that it?
Yep, you're doing great. Hit it, guys.
Get employee pricing, 90 days no payments OAC, amazing trade value, and more during Customer Appreciation Month at Bish's RV in North Salt Lake and our new location in American Fork. Bish's RV, where memories begin.
Doug Wright along with my friend Steve Sales. We do the movie show together, and we discovered NPS together.
Maybe the last ones.
What a I know we're the last on the face of the planet here in Utah. But what NPS does and what they are and the prices and the merchandise they offer, brand new stuff.
It's all brand new.
Discounted 30 to 70% every day. It's amazing.
I know, and I keep referring to these sheets I got a few weeks ago. $50, and they included the pillows, king size. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous.
Aren't you going to mention your left-handed golf club anymore?
No.
He's moved on to sheets now. What does that say? But, you know, the
everything.
Everything. What you're looking for. And at this time of year, some of the gardening things that are there and patio
Did you see the plants they
furniture.
have?
Oh, it's incredible. And again, when they have sales, and you'll always find special sale items.
Yeah.
That's a sale on top of the sale.
Exactly.
30 to 70% off every day and even even more. 4 locations. We've got Orem, Layton, and Salt Lake.
7:59, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Andy?
Well, Amanda, we've certainly hit the peak of the slowdowns on I-15 right now. Since there's no crashes, our slowdowns are in several spots. We've got some at Bangor in Draper. We've got some at 7200 South Midvale, and pretty heavy between 53rd and 33rd South right now. Bangor's got slowdowns waiting for you at 47th and 35th South in particular. And then in Tooele County, it looks like our Stansbury Park delays are clearing, but slowing getting a little thicker in Lake Point around the Saddleback Boulevard intersection. Heather?
Davis County drivers will be hitting the brakes southbound I-15 just after the on-ramp from 700 South in Clearfield, and that will extend all the way into Kaysville with a few more brake lights showing up as you approach downtown Salt Lake. You also have slowing on US 89 southbound through the Layton area, especially around Antelope Drive due to construction. Eric?
And construction has taken its toll on northbound drivers. US 40 on the Wasatch back from the north part of Jordanelle Reservoir to the Park City turnoff. You're going to find it pretty slow right now. Foothill Drive also slow from I-80 heading up towards the University of Utah. Down Utah County, I-15 at least is a clean drive from Provo to Lehigh. Premium checking from America First is more than a regular account. In fact, it's so loaded with benefits and features it was voted best perks by Money.com. Apply for it today at AmericaFirst.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Looks a little threatening out there. We've had some sprinkles. 77 for a high, and right now 62 degrees in Salt Lake City.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
We're only a day away from a special session that'll address Representative Chris Stewart's resignation from Congress.
But today, lawmakers return to the Hill to address other issues around the state. KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with the details. Adam?
Amanda, today's subcommittees are going to kick off their meetings ahead of the special session tomorrow. One of those subcommittees today is expected to get reports on what's been spent for the Department of Corrections and flood mitigation. Another subcommittee is going to cover things like hazard mapping and landslides near residential areas. Tomorrow, another committee is going to cover sensitive materials in schools. Then another will actually draft the legislation for the special session. Lawmakers then head to the House and Senate floors tomorrow afternoon around 4 to work out the details for the special election that will replace Congressman Chris Stewart. Reporting live at the state capitol, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Utah lawmakers also focused on the Alpine School District and whether or not administrators gave enough notice of potential school closures. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston joins us live with those details. Peter?
Tim, the law in question requires school districts to give parents 120 days notice before they close kids' schools down. 33 parents got together and sued the district for allegedly breaking that rule. Now lawmakers are taking a deeper look. Alpine School District Board President Sarah Hacken has told lawmakers that the district began the notification process way back in December, when the board told parents a new study was coming that could result in school closures. On March 1st, the board sent an email to community groups that there were 5 elementary schools on the chopping block. Legislators say they're concerned that even if the school district allowed the law and followed the law and didn't start removing administrators before 120 days, parents still don't have enough time to adjust. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The political world will be focused on downtown Miami this afternoon when former President Trump arrives for his arraignment.
ABC's Justin Finch is there in Miami and begins our team coverage.
Trump and his supporters have called for protest at the courthouse, slamming the special counsel's indictment, claiming Trump is the victim of a double standard at the Justice Department. Law enforcement officials are bracing for potential trouble at the courthouse.
ABC News chief investigative reporter Josh Margolin continues our team coverage.
When we look back at what happened on January 6th, we can look back and see the online chatter in the days and weeks leading up to it, and it seemed like it was extreme and getting more serious and getting more violent online. They are not seeing that right now. Now, of course, they are, as you say, on high alert. They've increased the security perimeter around the court complex. They're taking no chances. But the types of things you would see, these indicators that would suggest possible violence, are not there.
Utah Senator Mitt Romney is again speaking out about the indictment of former President Trump, talking about how it plays into the presidential campaign.
The president holding onto these documents and getting indicted
makes it more likely he's able to raise money and do well in the primary. But I think it hurts his chances in the general, and I'd rather see someone who could win.
Romney says the former president could have avoided this indictment by returning all of the classified documents when asked. Former President Trump is expected to arrive in court around 1 this afternoon, Utah time. We'll have live team coverage when it begins.
The inflation rate is slowing. Consumer price inflation numbers released this morning show inflation increased 4% in May compared to the year before, but that's a drop from 4.9% that we saw the month before. The inflation rate peaked at 9.1% last June.
Sorry about that.
No.
We have stories that we just, do head scratching on, and this is one of them. 2 kids recovering from injuries after police say they were playing on slides that had been doused with acid at a Massachusetts park. Police and firefighters responded to a report of a suspicious substance at the playground in Longmeadow. Investigators discovered that someone broke into a storage room with pool chemicals and stole a diluted solution of hydrochloric acid.
What in the world, Tim?
I don't know.
What is going on with our species?
If you find an answer to that, let us all know, will you?
First look traffic now, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
Right now, I-15 really struggling middle of the valley. He's got backups on the main flow between 7200 and almost up to 33rd South. You've got slow, it breaks up a little bit in the middle of that. And then a long stretch of delay still going south through Layton on both I-15 and now on Highway 89 going south. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather now with Matt Johnson. A rare sight this time of year. We actually have new snow in the Utah mountains, and it may just keep coming.
Fresh snow falling up at about 10,000 feet. The chances there to see isolated pockets of snow showers at 10,000 feet, not only today and tomorrow, but into Thursday morning.
Matt says if you're planning a hike up that high, you need to be prepared just in case you run into one of those snow showers.
Fireworks and celebrations in the streets of Denver overnight as the Nuggets won their first NBA title in franchise history.
This was the most incredible night ever. So friggin' stressful down to the minute, but we did it! Go Nuggies!
Nuggies? I don't think I've heard that before.
I haven't heard that.
Mackenzie Dunster and other fans took to the streets after the big win, but there was also some scary moments during the celebrations when shots rang out about 7 blocks away from the arena. 3 people were rushed to the hospital in critical condition.
It's left Jazz fans saying, when
nice.
will we get that opportunity? Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak, the longest-serving game show host in the history of television, says he's stepping aside.
After 40 years and more than 7,000 shows, Pat Sajak is taking one last spin of the wheel.
I'll do the wheel of final spin.
76-year-old announcing his retirement, saying, well, the time has come. I've decided that our 41st season, which begins in September, will be my last. It's been a wonderful ride.
That is a long ride, too. ABC's Andrew Dimbert reporting.
Wildlife officials are looking for a man seen on video getting out of his car to yell at and chase a bear near Yellowstone National Park. KSL News Radio's Emma Keddington spoke to the Utah Division of Wildlife's Faith Heaton-Jolly about why this behavior was so unsafe.
Jolly says invading the space of wildlife is extremely dangerous to both you and the animals. She says it's their home, their space, and their food, and interrupting it can cause them to act aggressively. Instead of yelling at or chasing wildlife, Jolly says during outdoor animal encounters, you should stay calm and keep as much distance as possible.
Authorities say the man who harassed the bear could face 6 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. What was he hoping to accomplish there? Did he think the bear would feel bad after he yelled at it?
I don't think they're thinking at all.
That's it.
I mean, last week it was the gal that was standing there right at the nose of a bison that was laying there comfortably taking a selfie.
A selfie, yeah.
I don't know why. Yellowstone seems to be ground zero. Northbound slowing on I-15 from Midvale to South Salt Lake. No accidents along that stretch. We'll see if we can find out what's going on next.
Breaking news is just one ask away.
Playing KSL News Radio.
More water, but less parking at Bear Lake this summer. Be careful letting your pets play in the grass. In your home, tell Alexa, play KSL News Radio. Then listen in your car at 102.7 FM.
Hello.
Hi, I'm
Mr. Sparky.
What gave it away? The fancy tool belt? How about the big red truck?
Actually,
yes.
You're on time.
That's our motto. We're on time. You'll see her. The repair is free.
You rhymed. That's cute. Are you always available?
24/7.
24/7.
I don't sleep much. So what seems to be the problem?
Well, my toddler plugged the dog into the light socket.
Yeah, I see your house is blinking like a pinball machine.
Can you fix it?
The house or the dog?
The house.
Oh, I'm Mr. Sparky. If it's electrical, I
can
fix
it.
You betcha.
From a small electrical problem to new lights to smart home services, generators to whole house
surge protection, and everything electrical in between. Call America's on-time electrician. Mr. Sparky is fully licensed to install or repair any electrical work. Just call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hold on, this is where we bring in the singers.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
If you're just getting in the car this morning, we got CPI numbers. The inflation numbers show that inflation increased 4% in May compared to the year before, but it's down from 4.9. We'll see how the markets are reacting with money news coming up. KSL News Time now is 8:09. Time for a look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High-Yield Savings Certificates. Andy?
Right now, if you're on I-15, that northbound drive is running stop and go really thick between 7200 South Midvale and 53rd South in Murray. There's some additional minor slowdowns around Bangerter and Draper and 33rd South and South Salt Lake. 21st South Freeway, all clear of delays. Mountain View and Bangerter both in West Valley now moving at the full speed limits. Heather?
We never heard of a crash on southbound I-15 in Davis County, but we had very unusual delays southbound between 700 South and Clearfield all the way past the Kaysville Ponds. Now, the speeds appear to be improving now through that stretch of freeway, but you'll still be under the speed limit. We do have a report now of a crash in Ogden on Washington Boulevard at 11th Street, and that has a center lane closed, that median, so it's slowing traffic down in both directions of Washington Boulevard. Eric?
I-15 continues to look pretty good in Utah County this morning. We had some slowing earlier going by SR-92. Right now, that's back at a normal pace. Going out through Provo Canyon on 189, no trouble there. Highway 6 for a large portion is pretty good in Spanish Fort Canyon, but when you get to the Castle Gate area, we have had a crash there. This is before you get to Helper, and traffic is being diverted between there and Price this morning. So if you're planning on going out in that direction, just be prepared. You're going to have to find some alternate routes. They're going to guide you towards those alternates. This Father's Day, help Dad perfect his grill game with a new pellet grill from IFA. IFA Country Stores, helping to grow the things you love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
77 is all we get today, but that'll feel great. Chance for thunderstorms by afternoon. Overnight lows, upper 50s, partly cloudy skies, mostly cloudy at times. For tomorrow, 78 degrees by afternoon, chance for storms, and then a little cold front, a June cold front possible on Thursday, bringing some AM showers. 74 is all we get for a high. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Looks a little threatening out there, 62 degrees.
Coming up in a moment, we've been talking about inflation this morning and how the inflation rate is down, but it's still higher than the Fed wants it.
Yeah.
It's higher than we want it, too. Matt Gephardt takes a look in a moment on how people are fighting inflation on vacation.
Details next at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Thanks for riding along this morning. Tim and Amanda on KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
At Shane Company, we believe everybody is made to shine. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. Shining is not for a chosen few. Like a rare gemstone, each one of us was created under just the right set of circumstances. Your moments, your milestones, your love story, all deserve to shine bright. You don't need an occasion or an invitation. You and your life are the event. At Shane Company, we handcraft our jewelry with the greatest care and hand select the most beautiful gemstones so you can shine. So put on a pair of earrings that make your eyes sparkle. Wear diamonds that light up the room. Try on sapphires in every color of the rainbow. Give an heirloom that collects new stories with each generation. We're all made to shine. Shane Company, fine jewelry since 1929.
With the economy the way it is, you're probably staying put. So invest in your home, your number one asset, with beautiful custom replacement windows from Advanced Window Products. They're a local Utah company building beautiful vinyl framed and insulated double pane windows for 37 years right here in Salt Lake City. Advanced Window Products will save you money on your energy bill. Get security features to keep your family safe. And at Advanced Window Products, it's all custom. And the best part, they're local. They build the windows, they install the windows, and they guarantee them for life. So there's no middleman markup. You save on the highest quality windows in Utah. Plus, Rocky Mountain and Dominion offer rebates. For a limited time, they offer 60-month 0% financing. And right now, get $2,000 off 10 windows or more. They're working 8 weeks out. So make the call now. Advanced Window Products, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or visit AdvancedWindowsUSA.com.
Can we talk about something difficult to discuss? Are you going through a difficult financial time? You have equity in your home, but nobody can help. I'm Jason Erskine with American Home Loans, and we have created the Bridge Loan Program to use your equity regardless of your credit at this time. The Bridge Loan can be used to pay debts, collections, IRS liens, divorce settlement, or just simply improve your property. Give us a call at 801-262-2221. This loan creates a bridge between now and a much brighter future. During COVID, one of our clients had over $85,000 on credit cards. Their scores were too low to borrow on their home. We were able to save them $2,000 a month, and after 8 months, they qualified for a conventional loan and improved their situation. Look, the consultation is free. Please let us see what we can do for you. Call 801-262-2221. That's 801-262-2221, or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. That's AmericanHomeLoans.com.
NMLS 245422, Equal Housing Lender.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 8:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
lawmakers return to Capitol Hill today as they prepare to address a special election to replace Representative Chris Stewart tomorrow on KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, several people were rushed to the hospital in Denver last night after shots rang out in a crowd of people celebrating the Nuggets' first NBA championship.
Third, let's check your traffic and weather together.
So far, I-15 delays have been in the usual areas. No additional backups from crashes, but expect some in Draper, Midvale, South Salt Lake, and if you're heading south, some slowdown still between Layton and Kaysville. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Cooler temperatures with thunderstorms, but warmer temps coming. I'm Matt Johnson.
62 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. About 5 hours from now, former President Donald Trump is due in a Miami courtroom. He is facing 37 federal criminal counts stemming from the storage of classified documents at his home in Mar-a-Lago. ABC's Aaron Katursky has more from the federal courthouse in Miami, where police have said they are preparing for anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 protesters.
They've blocked off the street behind the courthouse, perhaps to allow the Secret Service access for the former president's motorcade later on today. There are calls online for demonstrations, come out and protest against the indictment on behalf of former President Trump. Some of those invitations have echoed the former president's incendiary rhetoric about the charges and about the special counsel, Jack Smith, who brought them. But so far, there just aren't that many demonstrators out here.
For the first time in the franchise's nearly 50-year history, the Denver Nuggets are NBA champions. And the after-game celebration, however, was marred by violence.
11 people were shot and wounded after what police describe as an altercation. That includes one person who self-transported to the hospital. 3 of the victims are in critical condition, and investigators say one suspect also was wounded. Investigators say the violence happened at around 1 in the morning as the crowd of revelers celebrating the Nuggets' win over the Miami Heat was dispersing. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Inflation slowing down. It rose 4% year over year in numbers released today. ABC financial correspondent Alexis Christoforous with more on how the Fed could respond at its latest 2-day meeting that gets underway today.
The Fed is in a quandary right now because inflation is moving in the right direction, but very, very slowly. And they are probably going to pause. That's what most economists believe is going to happen at tomorrow's meeting. They're not going to do anything with interest rates as they wait to see the effects of everything they've done thus far. That doesn't mean they're done raising interest rates. rates. Most economists believe the Fed will hike rates again at some point in the summer or later in the fall.
You're listening to ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Inflation has impacted all of us in a variety of ways, including our summer vacations.
KSL TV's Matt Gephardt takes a look at what people are doing to stretch their dollars as they hit the road.
You might not know it if you traveled over Memorial Day and were stuck in the long TSA lines, but according to this survey from Wallet Hub shared with the KSL investigators, 3 in 5 Americans say that inflation is affecting their travel plans.
Americans are struggling to travel this summer.
So then why are we seeing record-setting travel numbers? Well, people are finding creative ways to make sure they still make it to the beach, Wallet Hub found. Some folks are leaning into earned airline miles. Others are opening new credit cards that offer big piles of bonus miles just for signing up. Still others say they'd be willing to save up for vacation by cutting other expenses.
40% of Americans said that they would forego dining out for a year. That doesn't mean they're doing it. That doesn't mean they have to do it. It's just, what people said that they could do maybe to earn that free vacation.
Yeah, nobody likes a cynic, but the reality is more likely that people are going into debt to pay for their summer travel. In fact, 1 in 4 people say a good vacation is worth going into debt for. That, of course, creates a more expensive problem when you get home.
A lot of people say that they are thinking about their current credit card bill during their trip, or they're thinking about what they'll owe after their trip on their trip.
And it should be noted, Americans now hold a record amount of credit card debt. It totals nearly $1 trillion.
I am totally guilty of overspending on vacation. But, I guess I'm one of those people that thinks it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because I have such precious little time to spend with the boys when I get to hog them all to myself.
But here's my takeaway now that my 4 kids are all older and some have kids of their own. You can spend a bunch of money to go make memories a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go someplace simple and still create those memories.
That's true.
Some of my kids' favorite memories, if I ask them now as adults, were the simplest of things.
Yeah.
Where we just got away, kind of got off the grid and spent time talking to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, the debt's a little worrisome, as Matt Gephardt said there, but there are a lot of people doing it. I think it's post-pandemic buildup, actually. Yeah. That is the In-Depth this morning at 15 and 45.
8:19, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. And back to you, Andy.
And right now, if you're traveling on I-15, stop and go 7200 south up to about 4500 south. So right through the middle of the valley, some pretty thick traffic. It's heavy as well. Those of you coming over Point of the Mountain will tap the brakes a little bit as well between Bluffdale and Bangor. Bangor itself's got some backups in South Jordan at 9800 south, but the other intersections on your drive up to the airport shouldn't see much extra wait time other than maybe at 47 south. Heather?
We've had excessive delays on US 89 all morning long, and most of that right now is southbound, the worst of it around Antelope Drive. But a texter just says that he's seeing the heavier traffic start around SR 193 and Layton as well, and that'll extend all the way to Gordon Avenue. Southbound I-15 through Layton area is easing up a bit, but you still have some stop and go from Layton Parkway to the Kaysville Ponds, which is pretty typical this time of the morning. Eric.
Crash westbound I-80 approaching I-15. In fact, this crash is just past the exit ramp to go onto State Street, but it is over on the right shoulder, and we aren't seeing any delays by there. It is pretty slow through the construction zone northbound US 40 from Jordanelle Reservoir up to the turnoff to go into Park City. I-15 in Utah County, that's looking good this morning from Provo to Lehigh. Make Father's Day easy and get the best gift ever, a blanket or robe from Minky Couture. Shop online at minkycouture.com or any Minky store. Best gift ever, Minky Couture. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast, 77 today with a chance for thunder showers. Keep those thunder showers in the forecast for your Wednesday and Thursday. However, Thursday, it's a little cold front. In the morning, we get some AM showers. Then we only top out at 74 by afternoon, partly cloudy. Hey, Friday, partly cloudy, 78. Then back to the mid-80s for your Saturday and Sunday. Father's Day looks great, 86, partly cloudy. We drop it off to 80 next Monday, partly cloudy skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Tough time warming up out there without sunshine. 62 degrees and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Earlier this morning, we received some texts about some rain. We had some light rain in Lehigh. We had some sprinkles in the avenues. Is it raining anywhere right now?
Haven't heard.
I haven't heard either. If you've got rain in your area, let us know. If you can, and it's safe for you to do so on the Cypress Credit Union KSL text line, 57500.
We've got money news coming up here in a minute, and it looks like the market's still enthusiastic about those CPI numbers We'll deliver it all to you next here on KSL.
Are you ready to upgrade your summer vacation? General RV is here to help. This week, you'll get top dollar for your used RV when you trade it in during our Trade Up Sales event, June 14th through the 17th. Whether you're looking for a different model or a whole new way to camp, there's never been a better time to trade up. Don't have an RV to trade in? You can still get up to 40% off our huge selection of RVs. Only at General RV in Draper off I-15.
Our state's children face a serious threat from the vaping industry, but thanks to state leaders and the Utah Health Department, Utah established the strictest nicotine standards for vaping in the United States to protect our kids. However, the vaping industry sued, claiming their sales and profits are down. Now they're pushing the health department to hand control of vaping regulations to the federal government. We can't allow that to happen. The proposed change would automatically increase nicotine levels in vape pens and reintroduce fruity flavors that entice our kids back into Utah convenience stores. Visit StopKidsVaping.com today and make your voice heard. Utah should maintain state control, preserve our 3% nicotine limitations, and prevent vaping flavors from returning to Utah convenience stores. Together, we can secure a better future for our children. Join us at StopKidsVaping.com and tell the health department, protect our kids.
Paid for by Prosperous Utah Communities.
Hey, this is Dan, the laptop man from PC Laptops here in Salt Lake City, Utah. You know, and here at PC Laptops, we know the universe is kind of strange right now. So we've worked really hard to bring you the most amazing deals right now. You can get an amazing, powerful desktop. In fact, it's a 2024 model you can get right now. That'd be perfect for work, play, school, production, whatever you want to do for only $11.99 or $29 a month. We also have special 12 months, zero interest financing. So it's kind of cool. You could use the bank's money. That's an approved credit. Get ready for school early, for work, or upgrade your productivity with the most amazing new 2024 models starting at $11.99. All backed with a lifetime parts and labor warranty at PC Laptops. Just go to PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com right now, because at PC Laptops, we really love you.
Watching Utah's Money brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Expect your chocolate to get a lot more expensive. Chocolate prices have already got up 14% over the last month. Last month? No, that's got to be year.
Yeah.
Cocoa butter and sugar prices are on the rise. Experts say dark chocolate will get hit the hardest because those products have the most cocoa.
And I go, I don't eat dark chocolate.
Oh,
I'm
I
a
love
milk
dark
chocolate guy. KSL drives Kia recalling some of its 2023 Sportage vehicles because of a brake issue. Safety regulators say the brakes can or may become misaligned and lose power. Car owners covered by the recall should touch base with their dealer to get the part inspected and changed if necessary.
Some frozen strawberries are being recalled due to potential hepatitis A contamination. Wawona Frozen Foods is recalling an organic Daybreak blend sold at Costco's in Utah last spring. The company says no illnesses have been reported, but anyone with the product should throw it out and return it for a full refund.
Markets are still in the green on the back end of those inflation numbers this morning, but not as enthusiastic as earlier. The Dow's still up 107. That's 0.3. The S&P is up about 0.4 or 18 points, and the Nasdaq, which was rallying on top of that 200-point gain yesterday, is up 40 this hour.
We do have some reduced speeds southbound I-15 from Layton into Kaysville this morning. We'll check that and the rest of your commute just ahead.
I had somebody ask me the other day, when it comes to Beehive meals, because they've heard us talking about it, is it the convenience of it? Is it the chance to expand your menu items at home? What is it? And I said, I think it's all of those things.
It's all of those things. And the price.
Yeah.
Because it's less than $3.50 per serving, which is amazing to me because I couldn't buy the ingredients for this much. But tonight I think we're having the pork carnitos, which I'll put in tacos for the kids.
Yeah.
And then I get my new delivery I get on Thursday. Yay. And so this way I don't have to have all these arguments. What do you guys want for dinner? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make. I don't know. I mean, it just made me crazy. So now I just pull one of those out of the freezer, put it in the crock pot, and it's ready.
It's hard to explain when that delivery comes to your porch and you get a chance to see what the recipes are going to be for the next little while. It comes in sets of 10. These are freezer meals. So you simply throw them in the crock pot. You can put them in there frozen and set a timer.
Yeah, that's what I do.
On when you want it to start, and then it'll meal, keep it warm so that, as the kids come back from playing during the summer months, or they've got basketball or whatever it is, they swing by and get their share, or you have a meal all together.
I serve it with pasta sometimes, or potatoes, or whatever. It's just, I had this chicken orzo soup the other night that was just awesome all by itself.
Yeah. Make sure when you check out, though, you go to beehivemeals.com at checkout. Make sure you put in the code KSL. It's going to save you $20 off your order.
That's beehivemeals.com.
The former president.
3 in 5 Americans view these charges as serious.
Charged for a second time.
Trump has long denied any wrongdoing.
Get all sides of this history-making story. The arraignment of former President Donald Trump. Mornings and afternoons all week on KSL News Radio. Your all-day companion for news.
Tune in and join KSL this Friday from 9 to noon for the movie show located at the Megaplex Theaters at Jordan Commons. The movie show this Friday at the Megaplex Theater at Jordan Commons.
8:29, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Back to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, some of the delays clearing out. North 15, you've got a little bit of slowdown still. Bangerter Highway, some in Midvale at 7200 South. We still see some as you go up past 33rd South. 201, all clear of delays through Magna West Valley. Looks much better in Tooele County, although there's still a little bit of backup at that intersection at Stansbury Parkway and SR 36. Heather?
Our slowest traffic remains southbound I-15 from Hillfield Road in Layton all the way past the Kaysville Ponds. Now, part of that extra slowing could be because of some light rainfall that our texters say is happening in the area. Doesn't appear to be causing extremely wet road conditions. Some of them may be a bit damp, but people should be slowing down for safety reasons, and that's probably what's happening through that stretch of freeway. Eric?
I-15 from Spanish Fork to the county line northbound in Utah County. That's a 24-minute drive, and that's what you get when you get no accidents or delays. Looking good this morning. Along the Wasatch Backs, pretty slow, though, on US 40 northbound from Jordanelle Reservoir up to the turnoff to go into Park City. That's SR 248. That crash is cleared I-80 westbound approaching I-15, so it's looking good westbound through Sugar House and eastbound through Parley's Canyon this morning if you're heading out to Park City. From now through July, get triple rewards points on gas and travel with a Visa Platinum Rewards card from Cyprus Credit Union. Visit cypruscu.com to learn more. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We have more showers in the forecast for today, a high of 77, and right now it's 62 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8:30.
KSL's top story this hour from ABC News.
Questions and concerns about what will happen in Miami this afternoon when former President Trump arrives in court for his arraignment.
Security is tight, and ABC's Justin Finch is there to begin our team coverage.
Miami's mayor says they're preparing for crowds of anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 people.
We wanted to ensure to the public that we are ready.
But according to the police chief, the city does not plan to separate Trump's supporters and protesters outside the courthouse.
And if we begin to see that there's opposing parties, we'll at that time make sure that they're separated.
And the chief declined to say whether metal barricades will be set up. Only police tape currently surrounds the courthouse.
ABC's Aaron Katersky also in Miami and continues our team coverage with more on the court proceedings.
Former President Trump is expected to arrive here at Miami Federal Court and go directly to the 13th floor courtroom for his arraignment. It's expected he will enter a plea of not guilty. After court, Trump will be processed as a criminal defendant. At no time will he be in handcuffs, but he will technically be in FBI custody.
When the arraignment happens, around 1 o'clock Mountain Time, we will have live team coverage here on KSL News Radio.
Salt Lake City leaders getting ready to give the final seal of approval on a $444 million budget. KSL News Radio's Kate Davis reports.
The funding will be channeled to affordable housing initiatives and other programs that will help alleviate homelessness. The budget will go into effect at the start of July and also funds different areas of law enforcement. Also happening in July, a planned utility bill hike of 18% for water and 10% for sewer.
Officials say the utility bill increases will help the city pay for a new water treatment plant to help meet federal regulations.
A man has pleaded guilty to the murders of 3 people 17 years after the first investigation began.
Juan Ariela Murillo has pleaded guilty to killing Sonia Mejia and her unborn child in 2006, as well as Damiana Castillo 2 years later. Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill tells KSL TV Murillo had actually been deported to Mexico by the time the 2 cases clicked.
We knew that they were connected at that time.
In 2016, investigators connected Murillo's fingerprints to both scenes. He was finally able to be extradited back to Utah last year and now faces up to life in prison for each of the 3 aggravated murder charges. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A teenager is pleading guilty to murdering his girlfriend in Piute County. 17-year-old Francisco Aguilar reportedly shot and killed 16-year-old Jacqueline Nunez in January after she tried to run away from his car. Aguilar pleaded guilty to aggravated murder in a courthouse yesterday.
A Utah school district says they may have messed up when administrators did not follow a student to wear a cultural or allow her to wear a cultural item to graduation. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has that story.
An administrator at Hillcrest High School in Midvale blocked Alexis Archuleta from the graduation stage until she took off her cap with the green Navajo bead design. The Canyon School District says it's been a policy for its schools to require undecorated graduation hats, according to the Salt Lake Tribune. They also recognize this rule goes against a new law out of this year's legislative session, which protects students' right to wear cultural items to their graduation ceremony. The law has no consequences for schools that go against it, and the district says its schools will do better going forward. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
This morning, we're getting a look at newly released body cam footage of a dramatic rescue of a mother and daughter from a reservoir in Tooele County. KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson reports.
Body cam and dash cam video captured Tooele police officers racing to the scene of a submerged car, a 12-year-old girl trapped inside.
Hurry up! Go, go, go! Give me a pry bar! Give me something to open the door!
A woman and a young boy were already out of the vehicle when officers arrived. Dash cam video shows officers shoot out that window of the submerged car. Bystanders helped first responders get the young girl to shore. CPR was performed. She is recovering well. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
Time for First Look Traffic, and Andy, our traffic texter, saying it's raining in Kaysville and Farmington right now. I'm sure it is.
Hey, guys. Here's what we got on the freeway still. We still have those delays going south through Davis County, Layton, and Kaysville. And then what looks like a crash, or maybe somebody pulled over to the shoulder on I-15 right after the Bluffdale exit. Things came to a stop for a moment, but they're all getting by in the lanes now. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
App-based food delivery workers in New York City will now be eligible for a new minimum wage.
Beginning July 12th, app delivery workers will be guaranteed at least $17.96 per hour. And that will increase to $19.96 per hour in 2025. The city estimates New York's 60,000 plus app delivery workers, including those for DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats, were making on average just over $7 per hour.
ABC's Lionel Moise reporting.
We're hearing from the Biden administration that members of the consulate have visited with Michael Travis Leak. He's the American musician arrested in Russia on drug trafficking charges. Leak's mother, Glenda Garcia, tells ABC affiliate KERO that she'd received a call from the State Department and had this message for her son.
I love him no matter what, and I'd like him home.
Leak was detained over the weekend in Moscow, where he has reportedly lived for several years.
Utah women are behind the national average when it comes to getting mammograms. KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson has more.
Utah women are busy. Many have large families and careers and end up putting their own health on the back burner. Judy Skidmore from Eden recently had cancer show up on her mammogram, but it was detected early enough to treat. She says before that, she wasn't very vigilant about getting screened.
I think the reason, too, that a lot of women don't go, it's the fear of the result.
She says she is vigilant now and says scheduling your next appointment before you leave the mammogram office can help you stay on schedule. Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio.
We got a little rain in the Layton and Kaysville area, so you might tack on a little extra time there. We've already had southbound slowing through Davis County. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
Start your day with all news in the morning. Then hear Dave and Dejanovic talk about the biggest stories from 9 to noon.
Utah is the fastest growing state out there.
You need to stop blaming Californians.
Breaking news, important talk, all morning on KSL News Radio.
And now here's Growing Your Wealth, presented by Madrona Financial Services. Here's Brian Evans.
There's a lot of talk in the news about Section 1031 exchanges, and I just wanted to define what those are because not everybody knows what a 1031 exchange is. So that's a code section, IRS code section, allowing for somebody who has investment real estate, meaning not your principal residence or your vacation home, but investment real estate, whether it's, gosh, it could be anything. It could be raw land, a rental house, an apartment building, a winery, a farm. All of this is real estate. And so it allows that person to sell that real estate estate and buy replacement property following some strict guidelines, but buy the replacement property and not have to pay the income tax upon the sale of their property. They're just transitioning from one investment piece of real estate to another. 1031 exchange allows you a lot of leeway on, you could sell a winery and exchange into rental houses. You could sell rental houses and exchange into a farm. You could go from that to a Delaware statutory trust and back into rental houses. Whatever it is, you can exchange pretty freely as long as it's classified as investment real estate. You can't sell your fourplex and exchange into your new principal residence, so that's not an exchange, not a like kind. They're not both investment real estate. Now, the example I have for you today is, let's say you paid $300,000 for a rental house, you've depreciated it down to $100,000, and you could sell it for $1 million. Well, you may not want to pay that $900,000 now, and you may not even want to be a landlord. So you say, well, I don't even want to exchange in another property. You can exchange into passive real estate where you don't have to be the landlord. That's called the Delaware Statutory Trust. So there are options, but I just wanted to cover 1031 exchanges.
Even the mightiest of trees can be blown over if they don't have strong enough roots. The same is true with your investment plan. Can your plan withstand a financial storm? Go to MadronaFinancial.com and click on the Get Started button to request your rooted wealth analysis. You can also click on the chat button and ask us anything. We have a searchable library with answers to your questions. Visit MadronaFinancial.com.
ABC News has informed us that they will have live coverage, coming up about 1 o'clock Mountain Time from Miami on the arraignment of former President Trump. So count on us to bring you coverage on KSL News Radio.
8:39, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high yield savings certificates. Andy?
Amanda, I-15 traffic, they got the whatever it was, they just pulled back into traffic on I-15 near the Bluffdale exit. So heavy traffic continues down the hill as you come in from Utah County, but then the brake lights don't really hit you again until almost 2:15 in Midvale and Murray and going up into South Salt Lake. Looks good out of Tooele on I-80, and SR-36 delays finally cleared out of Stansbury Park and Lake Point. Heather?
We still have a lot of stop-and-go traffic southbound 15 between Hillfield Road and Layton and the Kaysville Ponds. A lot of that is typical delays, but we also had some light rain showers move through, which could have caused roadways to be a bit damp and slow you down even more there. But that's the only real delay I see on I-15 Legacy Parkway, I-84 through the mountains. US 89, however, has road construction. You're reduced in lanes, and that's causing delays southbound through most of Layton. Eric?
Still a solid drive northbound I-15 in Utah County from Santa Quinn all the way up to the county line. That's a 30-minute drive. Your usual congestion getting over to the freeway out of Eagle Mountain or Saratoga Springs eastbound Pioneer Crossing and 2100 north. Through the mountains, I-189 looks good, but you've got slowing on the Wasatch back. US 40 from Jordanelle Reservoir through the construction heading up to the turnoff to go into Park City. Upgrade your countertops with beautiful quartz or granite. With Bedrock Quartz, it's only 7 days from template to installation with showrooms in Layton, West Jordan, St. George, and Pleasant Grove. BedrockQuartz.com. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We stay on the cool side again today, 77 degrees when we should be in the low 80s. Chance for thunderstorms this afternoon. Overnight lows, upper 50s, partly cloudy skies. 78 by tomorrow afternoon, with another round of showers and storms. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Wet sunshine for about 90 seconds or so downtown through those clouds. It's 63 degrees this hour.
I looked up at the monitor just a little bit ago. It didn't look like there were too many people outside the Miami courthouse.
No.
At least not yet. I know the arraignment isn't for another 4 hours, but I would think if there were going to be big crowds, they'd be starting to gather, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We'll find out more from Rachel Scott in a moment on KSL.
Stay with us for that information next at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Thanks for riding along this morning. Tim and Amanda on KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
I dug right along with my friend Steve Sales. We're on the movie show, and we are big fans of NPS. And Steve, I can't believe it took us so long to discover NPS.
It's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? But now that we have just discovered amazing products at 30 to 70% off. And then lately, it's been 50% off some of those things.
There are always special sales. And don't get that wrong, because when they say 50% off, that's off the 30 to 70% that things are discounted each and every day. And we're talking about great new quality stuff.
Yeah, this is not secondhand merchandise. This is brand new stuff, and it's always The deals are unbelievable.
And there are 4 stores. There's Layton, there's Orem, there's Salt Lake, and there are 2 stores in Salt Lake. One is a little more industrial, sporting goods, outdoors, tools, that
Right
type
across
of
the
thing.
street.
Right across the street there on Empire. You're going to love your experience at NPS.
Elder abuse often goes unnoticed and unreported, especially when older adults are isolated and lack access to resources. Well, on June 15th from 10 to noon, you're invited to a virtual event hosted by the Utah Department of Health and Human Services and Aging Service Partners, because June 15th is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. The focus of this year's conference is working together in collaborative partnership to educate, report, and prevent financial exploitation and other forms of maltreatment against older and vulnerable adults in Utah. You'll hear from a wonderful lineup of notable keynote speakers, including an introduction from Utah's Governor Cox. Please help protect Utah's older and more vulnerable adults, not just on one day, but every day. Attend this virtual event on June 15th from 10 a.m. to noon and find out what you can watch for. Text SENIOR to 57500 to register. That's SENIOR to 57500.
KSL News Time, 8:44. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
a man is pleaded guilty to the murders of 3 people more than 15 years after the first investigation began. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Salt Lake City leaders getting ready to give the final approval to a $444 million budget.
Third, let's check your traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic still struggles middle of the valley, northbound in Midvale and Murray, and southbound it's been slower than usual today, Layton through Kaysville. I'm Andy Farnsworth at the KSL Traffic Center.
Another great day temperature-wise with a chance for storms. I'm Matt Johnson.
We appreciate your texts about the rainy conditions. We're seeing rain in South Weber and Layton, Kaysville, and even in Tooele right now. Thanks to our weather watchers for letting us know. Our temperature, 62 degrees.
Time now for KSL's top national stories.
Security tight around the federal courthouse in Miami, where former President Trump will be before a judge today. He'll be booked in multiple federal charges related to his handling of classified information. Inflation slowing down considerably in May, rising only 0.1 of a percentage point from April. Prices up 4% from a year ago. The Fed meeting today and tomorrow. Most economists think that they will halt interest rate hikes this time around. There was Russian shelling on an apartment building in Volodymyr Zelensky's Ukrainian hometown. At least 11 people killed, making it the deadliest single-day attack on one city since late April. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
All right, let's go in depth now. A tense chapter in American history as former President Donald Trump arrives in Florida for an arraignment on federal charges.
ABC's Rachel Scott has the story.
This morning, Donald Trump preparing to become the first former president placed under arrest by the government he once led. Trump has called on his supporters to protest. Miami on edge, bracing for demonstrations.
We're taking this event extremely serious.
The former president faces 37 felony counts, accused of keeping classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago resort containing some of the nation's most sensitive secrets. From information about defense and weapons capabilities to America's nuclear programs and plans for possible retaliation in response to a foreign attack.
I just say not guilty. I didn't do anything wrong.
But federal prosecutors say Trump knew he was not authorized to keep the documents, alleging he schemed to obstruct the investigation. The 49-page indictment charges the former president stored those classified documents throughout his club. Trump's once loyal Attorney General Bill Barr calling out his conduct.
If even half of it is true, then he's toast. I mean, it's a very detailed indictment.
Trump is the front runner for the Republican nomination. Some of his rivals who have resisted criticizing the former president now saying this.
This puts all of our military men and women in danger, and it causes problems.
This case is a serious case with serious allegations. But in America, you're still innocent until proven guilty.
Trump is expected to appear in federal court today without a full legal team. 2 of the president's attorneys resigned just hours before that indictment was unsealed. Trump arriving here in Florida early in part to have meetings with new lawyers, and we are told his team is expected to continue those meetings even this morning.
Of course, we'll be covering this completely for you today on KSL, but I'm wondering, Tim, if there will be any motions to throw out any of that evidence. Is there any basis that the defense could argue to throw out that recording or something else? I wonder if we'll see motions like that.
I don't know. That part of it actually is more interesting to me, just the inner workings, of the case itself. The other question is, how long does it take to get this started, and how long does it last once it happens?
Well, he has a right to a speedy trial, but he can waive that right.
Yeah.
So if he wants to go slower, he can.
Well, and he has said, at least publicly, that he wants it done as quickly as possible.
So maybe then it could start as early as the late summer, right?
Yeah. I just noticed, and it happened while we were on the air just a few minutes ago, we've been questioning how many people might show up and what it would look like outside the courtroom.
Yeah.
Vivek Ramaswamy, who is, of course, a candidate for the Republican nomination, has already taken the opportunity to set up right outside there. It was a bit of a campaign stop, it looked like.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have a chance, obviously, to see what he was commenting on, but
I know they're not keeping the protesters and supporters separated by any kind of barricade, unless it gets out of hand, and I'm sure they would then. But at least initially, they're not set up to have some people on one side of the street, some people on the other. They're allowed to all gather together.
Aaron Katersky told us yesterday that it might be a situation where you never even see the former president.
Possible.
Because they arrive underground.
I think that's likely that we won't see him unless he wants to be seen.
Yeah. We did see video the last time, though, in New York, didn't we? As he was coming through a door and going into the courtroom or something. That was just a brief shot. Anyway, lots of questions, and I don't know that we'll get a whole lot of answers today, but coverage from ABC should begin around 1 o'clock Mountain Time, and we'll have it for you here on KSL. It's 8:49, time for a look at traffic and weather together, which we do every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High-Yield Savings Certificates. Andy Farnsworth is in the traffic center.
Well, Tim, we haven't had any crashes on I-15 from Draper to downtown, but we have had a lot of slowdowns. We still have some backups approaching Bangerter Highway and Draper, and some between 7200 South and 53rd South in Murray. So that shouldn't surprise anybody who drives north through the valley on a regular basis. Bangerter, same story. Maybe it's a little late in the morning to have the slowdowns we do around 4700 South, but that's usually where we see backups. Don't see any at all on SR 36 anymore in Tooele County. Heather?
Looks like we have a crash southbound I-15 in Clearfield. It's in between the two exits between 650 North and 700 South. And it looks like the right lane and shoulder may be blocked in that area. It's causing some slowdowns as people go past. And then you still have the stop-and-go traffic as you leave Layton, head into Kaysville, but those delays are starting to ease up. No problems so far on Legacy Parkway or the West Side Belt all morning long if you're heading to the airport. Eric.
The major roads around Park City are starting to get busy and slow northbound US 40, as we've had for much of the morning. You got construction-related delays heading from Jordanelle Reservoir up to the turnoff to go into Park City. And you have eastbound I-80 slowdowns from Kimball Junction over to Silver Creek if you're heading in that area. I-15 Utah County, northbound, southbound, that looks good. University Avenue, a little bit busier now from the BYU campus heading up towards the mouth of Provo Canyon. Use Superior Water and Air for all your HVAC and plumbing needs. Call 974-9090 or visit superiorwaterandair.com. Superior Water and Air, we got this. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-8 forecast. Low pressure still hanging out with us, so we'll go 77 today with a chance for thunder showers. We'll do it again tomorrow, but 78, touch warmer. Then a little June cool front will bring in some thunder showers and rain showers Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, 74, partly cloudy. 78 for your Friday, partly cloudy skies, goes mostly sunny on Saturday. A nice high of 84. 86 on Father's Day Sunday, partly cloudy. Back to 80 as cooler air tries to move on in for your Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Were we hitting 100 degrees already at this time last year?
Oh, definitely.
In June?
Last week while you were gone, I think Matt mentioned that we'd already had 100-degree day.
Last year
Yeah.
at this time? Right now it's 63 downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
And now we've got snow in mid-June. I was just thinking about, with this coverage of the Trump arraignment in Miami, how lucky we are and how lucky our listeners are that you have such a great place to get information. And I'm sure that Boyd's going to be tapping his inside sources in Washington and elsewhere for coverage. So we look forward to bringing that to you this afternoon here on KSL. But it's money news coming up next, reacting this morning to some of those CPI numbers, the inflation numbers that were out earlier.
Premium Premium checking from America First Credit Union is so much more than a regular checking account. It's a saves you money, makes life easier, always has your back account, because it's absolutely loaded with fantastic benefits and features. In fact, it comes stocked with so much awesome stuff. It was voted Best Perks by Money.com. So make sure you're rocking more than a checking account. Head to America First and apply for the exclusive protection, perks, and paybacks of premium checking today. Subject to membership eligibility and conditions. Federally insured by NCUA. Since 1939, America First has been helping people pursue their financial goals. And as we have, we've become one of the largest credit unions in the country. The reason why is simple. It's because every day we do our very best to help each person, family, and business we serve to realize their individual dreams and achieve financial well-being. True to our name, we always strive to put our members and employees first. So come join us and let us put you first. America First Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Dr. Tamara Sheffield from Intermountain Health with Your Life, Your Health. Intermountain Health is expanding the use of Angel-Eye cameras to 4 of its neonatal intensive care units throughout Utah. The camera system allows parents and families to see their babies even when they're not at the hospital. The camera systems have already been in place since 2020 for NICU patients at Intermountain Primary Children's Hospital. Parents like the system so much that Intermountain decided to expand it to more hospitals. Having a child in the NICU is hard enough for parents, so being able to look at your phone and see your baby can be comforting, said Dr. Jonathan McCulley, the NICU medical director at Intermountain St. George Regional Hospital. It gives families reassurance when they're away from the hospital and can't always be there. Intermountain St. George Regional Hospital launched their new system at the beginning of March, and families are already enjoying the benefits. Intermountain Utah Valley Hospital in Provo, Intermountain Medical Center in Murray, and Intermountain McCady Hospital in Ogden will have camera systems installed in their NICUs by the end of the year. The camera sits above the baby in the bed, and the caregivers can move the camera depending on what the baby's doing. Families can access the live stream video on any tablet or phone. Parents also decide who else can have access. This is another way we're using the power of technology and innovation to improve the quality of care and experiences for families receiving care at our hospitals, said Dr. McCulley. The new cameras were made possible through funding from the hospital and donations from the public. I'm Dr. Tamara Sheffield with Intermountain Health on KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. The FTC plans to file a motion to block a pending deal between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. Activision, of course, is a video game company that created World of Warcraft and Call of Duty. Microsoft was sued back in December for being anti-competitive since the deal would make Microsoft the third largest video game publisher.
KSL Drives. Right now, Utahns are paying on average $4.14 for a gallon of gas. That is well above the national average of $3.59. But the national average has been slowly going up over the last few weeks, and we're seeing a slight drop here in Utah.
Netflix getting ready to enter the live sports streaming world. The Wall Street Journal reports the streaming platform will host a celebrity golf event that will feature Formula One drivers and professional golfers.
Markets are up this morning. They like the inflation numbers. The Dow is up 138. That's 0.4%. We're at 34,205. S&P's up 24. That's 0.5%. Nasdaq is up 76. That's also over 0.5%.
I'm looking at one of those UDOT cameras in Kaysville. Cloudy there. That's one of the spots we had reports of rain. We'll see if that's still affecting the drive with traffic and weather together coming up next.
When it comes to your electrical system, do you know the warning signs to look for? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and it's okay if you don't know, but here are a few things that you might not even realize could be a sign of a bigger problem. Wall plates that are hot to the touch, discoloration around switches or outlets, if you hear crackling or popping or buzzing around switches or outlets, a breaker that trips a lot, switches that feel loose when you operate them, if your lights dim or flicker when a major appliance comes